We've got some more World Cup action for you here in Torino in the year 2015 as our big event continues with the semifinal in the World Cup for men, the men's national team event here at the 2015 World Cup, brought to you by the International Table Soccer Federation and Kazum Productions. Jim Stevens back with you as we are looking at a fourth round matchup. That's Ruben Heinrich on the right. That is the American Tom Yor on the left. It is Germany versus the United States. The winner will advance to the World Cup final. Tom Yor, of course, very experienced, has been on every American World Cup team since the original one back in 2006. Ruben Heinrich, also a multi-member of the German national team. And, of course, 2 years ago at the World Cup, then being held, of course, in Nantes, France, the Germans defeated the Americans in a semifinal match. Setting it up here is Heinrich. Ruben, a very good pull shooter, and he shows it to you there. That one blocked, comes back to Yor. And Ruben frustrated because he knew he had it. Now you play one game on the Tornado table, then we'll play one more game on the Leonhart table. The new format this year, you just play the 2 games in each matchup. And if you're tied, in other words, if both teams have held on their home tables or perhaps each has stolen the equal amount, if you go into that penalty round, it gets really interesting. If they're tied, they go to overtime, the penalty round, the shootout. No score here in Game 1 on the Tornado table. Again, the German table is the Leonhart. And Ruben able to pick this one up. Heinrich tries to come inside. Yor with a block, and Ruben continuing to talk to himself. Still no score here in game number 1. The Americans are leading, as you saw in that scoreboard opening things up. They're leading 4-2 so far. In the first round, Dave Gummison and Tracy McMillan defeated Long Krudvig and Yannick Hansen 2-0, winning on both tables. Mark Balic, Oka Harms returned the favor in the second round as they beat Todd Lafredo and Robert Mares on both tables to even it up at 2 apiece. But then Ryan Moore faced the great German player Christopher Marks in a third round singles match and beat him on both tables. So a bit unusual in that the 3 wins so far have both been 2-0, and that one knocked in off a man, and Mark Balic, the great German player, celebrating there in the background. You can see the intensity of this particular event. Nothing quite like the World Cup, the team final, the team semifinal in this case, and Yor with a quick one here evens it up at 1 apiece. 1-1 here in game number 1. Of course, many of you also know Tom Yor as the head of the referees commission for the ITSF, really the man who wrote the current rule book. Ruben's going to get another possession here. It's 1-1 here in game 1 on the Tornado table. And stroking it home is Ruben Heinrich. If we do go to a 5th round, which we will, it will be Tom Yor and Todd Lafredo against Yannick Hansen and Long Krudvig. In a doubles match, Yor now will shoot and try to tie it up at 2 here in game number 1. Yor really taking his time here and then fires that one down the middle. It's blocked and taken away by Heinrich. Germany really needs this one. They could really use a win. They're down 4-2. And right now they need a win. At the very least, they need 1 win on Tornado in one of the next couple of matches to stay alive. Tom Yor, his pull shot blocked away, comes back to Yor. Tom lives in Tampa, Florida, in the United States. And stroking it home here, it's 2-2. Of course, Tom plays regularly against the great American player Tony Sprademan in that same Tampa, Florida area. That's got to be good practice. Heinrich tried to pass it along that near wall, blocked away by Yor. This time Ruben does get it through. You can see Ruben Heinrich has spent some time on a Tornado table. Ruben has not been to the U.S. to compete on the American Tour, which is held on Tornado. And stroking home the long here is Ruben Heinrich. It's 3-2. Boy, every point so valuable, and Ruben gets that one all the way out there. What a gorgeous long pull shot by Ruben Heinrich. Maybe he should get over to America and compete on the Tornado Tour. He might have some success. And knocked in here. Heinrich now up 4-2. So Tom Yor in danger of losing on his home table. Boy, Ruben Heinrich so animated, so excited. The German team very pumped up right now. The Americans a little more businesslike perhaps. Tom Yor on his home table down by 2. Yor tried to pass it along that near wall. And Tom is able to pick it up here on his 5. Looking to cut the lead to 1. Tom Yor. Tried to stroke that long. Blocked again by Heinrich. Comes back to Yor. Tom resets. Taking some time here. And again, Heinrich on the long hole. You can see Ruben has decided he is not going to give Tom a long pull shot, and Ruben Heinrich will call timeout, leading 4-2 here in this first game. Big performance so far from that man as the Germans attempting to steal one on the Tornado table, and they need a steal. A steal here and a hold on the Leonhart, the German home table, would tie this match up at 4 games apiece. Ruben Heinrich will put the ball back into play in his goal area, leading 4-2. Game number 1 of this 4th round doubles match. Heinrich sends that one towards the goal. Yor slides back there to keep it out. Tom will use the left hand here. You don't see Tom do this a lot. Had the right hand on the 3-rod. Tried to go with a quick pull kick here. Knocked towards the goal. Kept out by Heinrich, who sends it back the other way with a left hand. Tom again using the left hand and looking to pass to his 3-rod. Of course, Tom can also shoot it with the left. Now he'll get back to shoot it with his right hand. That long pull shot knocked down, comes back to Heinrich on the 5-row. Ruben still up 4-2, and he's got a chance to win this opening game right here. Ruben Heinrich sets up the pull shot. And look for a celebration if he scores this one. Heinrich finds the straight hole. There's a first game win for Ruben Heinrich on Tornado as the German team celebrates that win. And we'll head back over across the arena to the Leonhart table after this effort from Ruben Heinrich. A classic moving straight. To the Leonhart table we go for game number 2 with Heinrich leading 1-0. And if he can win this game here, this match will be even at 4 games apiece. And as we said, the next match would be Yor once again playing with the great Todd Lafredo for the United States. The young team of Heinrich Hansen at Long Krudwig for Germany. That'll be our next match here. So Tom Yor has his work cut out for him. He is down a game and on the German home table. But most of these American players, and we're talking about an American team that has won 4 World Cup titles. No one else has won more than 1. Germany has one, or rather Belgium has one. Germany does not. France has a World Cup title, and Austria won the inaugural World Cup back in 2006. The American team has won 4, and Tom Yor has been a part of all 4 of those World Cup winning teams. This is a veteran player, a very good multi-table player. So he's going to go about his business on the Leonhart table as well, and he opens up the scoring here in game number 2 with a long pull shot. Ruben Heinrich won the first game on Tom Yor's home table, the Tornado. He won it 5-2 and really played well. Yor up 1-0. That one sent back towards the goal and in for Heinrich as American captain Robert Mares looks on. You see here as that one was just slowly knocked back into the goal by Heinrich. It's 1-1. Yor sends that one wide of the goal, picked up off that back wall by Yor on his shooting rod. Tom again looks comfortable shooting the pull shot on the Leonhart table. He stubs that one, however. gets it back, comes with a quick push kick. Always a good option. Yor will get another possession. Look for him to set up the pull shot, which he does. He has a good set here. And he has a good shot as well. It's 2-1. Tom Yor leading 2-1 here in game number 2. It would be disappointing, to say the least, for Ruben Heinrich and the German team to have won a game on Tornado, have stolen a game on the American home table, only to come back to their home table and not hold. And right now, though, it's looking pretty good for Ruben Heinrich. A couple of breaks, and he's tied it up at 2 here in this second game. Tom Yor puts it into play quickly, tried to go through the lane, couldn't connect. It comes back to Ruben. Heinrich, if he does get a possession on the 3-row, you'll see it's a little bit of a different style than he used over on the Tornado table, where he went with an American-style pull shot series. He is a German-style player on the Leonhart table, although still with a pretty good pull shot as a backup shot. Gotten to know Ruben very well over the last decade of covering international table soccer. Truly one of the great guys, a school teacher in Germany. And a nice pass along the wall. Yor went with a quick shot after the beautiful pass. And here's Ruben Heinrich. Heinrich will set up his standard pin shot. You can see bend at the waist, get the nose right down into that goal almost. And he gets the ball into the goal as well. It's 3-2. Watch here as Ruben executed the shot. Yor was there, but it hit off the man, off the corner, and in. And Ruben does get it deep to the corners from that pin shot set. Germany trying to get to their second career World Cup final. Yor can't connect here. And right now they're in pretty good shape. They're up 3-2 with a chance, if Ruben Heinrich can hold on to this lead, to tie this match up at 4 games apiece. And then anything can happen. Yor with a possession. Thomas shot it pretty well from pull shot position. He gets another good set and then finds the middle part of the goal. It's 3-3. Yor trying to steal on Heinrich's home table, and that would take a lot of the air out of the sails of the German team. Right now they're feeling like they have the momentum, and Heinrich now has the lead. So the momentum certainly on the side of the Germans. They're up 4-3. And Ruben Heinrich has a match point here and an opportunity to tie this semifinal up at 4 games apiece. As Tom Yor puts it into play on his 5, is able to convert the pass along the wall. It is win by 2 with a ceiling of 8, remember, in each and every game. Yor takes his time. Tried to go inside here to that straight hole. And the steal here made by Heinrich, and a timeout called as well. Philip Pauli, the great young German player, talking with Ruben as Mark Balic looks on. Ruben Heinrich will put the ball back into play. It is match point for Ruben. He leads 4-3 here in game number 2, and the match goes to Ruben as he banks it off that inside wall. Ruben Heinrich with a huge win over Tom Yor. And the Germans have indeed tied this match up at 4 apiece. And again, the intensity of this event. That man in the middle, of course, one of the great players in the history of the sport, Todd Lafredo, talking with Tom Yor. Not much you could tell Tom here. This was just an outstanding inside bank from the German Ruben Heinrich. We'll now head to round number 5, all even at 2 apiece. And there you see Mr. Lafredo starting in the goalie position on the left. Tom Yor at forward. Long Krudvig, the former Leonhart world champion, in the forward position, and his talented partner, Yannick Hansen, at goal. That's Krudvig and Hansen on the left side. Yor and Lafredo on the left, with Krudvig and Hansen on the right side of the table. I think we got that straight as we get the first game underway. You're on the Leonhart table, and the steal made by Yor. Of course, Tom coming off that difficult loss to Ruben Heinrich, which has us tied up in this match. Yor. Basically, it's the first team to win 7 games as Yor gets the scoring underway. So right now we're at 4-4. And the first team to win 7 would win the match and advance to the World Cup final. And stroking it home here is Long. It's 1-1. As we mentioned, a former world champion in open singles on the Leonhart table. That was back in 2012. What a show young Long Krudvig put on. Nobody expected him to win that tournament that weekend, but he was able to do it. And he has had a very good 3-year career since then. And the rolling pull shot here by Yor. It's 2-1. Of course, Todd Lafredo, the goalie, one of the great players in the history of the sport, a man with more than 30 individual world championships on various tables over the years. And here you see Yor as he brings it across, then again, and comes back with a rolling pull shot on the 3rd try. Right there. Todd Lafredo for many years played with, of course, the greatest player in the history of the sport, Frederic Collignon, and they won 15 world championships together, 12 on Tornado. They also won 2 on Garlando and 1 on, at that time, the Tech Ball table, which was the German table officially recognized by the ITSF back then. 2-1 lead for the Americans here in game number 1. And right now, the Germans riding a wave of momentum off that big win by Ruben Heinrich. Let's see if Hansen and Krudvig can hold on to that momentum. Yor seems to really feel comfortable shooting the ball on this table. Strokes that one to the short side. Hansen might have overreacted a bit here and got left out on the cold. 3-1 lead for Yor and Lafredo. Well, what a big comeback win this would be, in particular for Tom Yor, who you know is smarting a little bit from that loss to Heinrich in singles. Big shot here for Krudvig, going up against the defense of Todd Lafredo. That fast shuffle is Krudvig able to find the hole down the middle. It's 3-2, and we'll get a switch. Hansen to forward, Krudvig to goal. Long and Yannick played every tournament together. This is a regular team, and they are oftentimes interchangeable. Hansen will get up there and exhibit a very good 3-rod and 5 and forward skills. Tom Yor will set it up this time, shooting against Long Krudvig. Tried to come down the middle. Long with a block. Rebound comes back to Yannick. That's why in situations like this, you'll often see Yannick pass and try to score, which he's looking to do here. That one squirts through. Lafredo can't quite get it. It'll be put back into play by the great American player Todd Lafredo, competing here for Team USA for the 2nd time. Last time Todd was here, a year ago, he was part of the Dream Team, perhaps the greatest team ever put together, that American team that won the World Cup title over in Nantes, France. But Todd also that weekend won the Senior Singles World Championship and doubles as well, and Yannick Hansen able to stroke this one home. Watch this. We talked about his forward skills. You can see him right there. And suddenly it's 3-3. But Lafredo with 3 gold medals that weekend, 2 in the senior events, and then the one for the national team. Yor now will look for the lead as he sets up his pull shot. Again, shooting against Long, doesn't execute it. Comes back to Krudvig. That pull kick knocked down. If we are not going to go to overtime, the shootout, the penalty round, if we are not going to go there, that means that one of these teams has to steal on the opponent's table. And Tom Yor right now just a goal away from stealing in this opening round game here. And back to forward comes Long. 4-3 lead for the Americans. Krudvig, always using that far wall passing series, gets Tom off the wall, then passes it along that far wall, and Long now will set it up against Lafredo. And finds that far corner. Lafredo making Long hit deep corners, and Long can do it. Long and Yannick talking about it, then decide not to switch. And who wrote the rules, I think half-heartedly, he is saying they should have to switch. And of course, the head official, the referee standing at the end of the table, is going to do pretty much anything Tom Yor tells him. But Tom, of course, just a man who lives by the rules in foosball. And okay, so they will switch. I guess once they switched and actually touched the handles, they had to stay. 4-4. Into overtime we go in this game. Remember, it is win by 2 with a ceiling of 8. Tom Yor will set it up against Long Krudvig. And stroke it home. It's 5-4. Tom really seems to enjoy shooting the pull shot on the Leonhart table. It's game point for the Americans. Krudvig rushes it through but can't connect on the pass. Comes back to Lafredo. Todd will set up a pull shot here. The pass attempt just wide of Yor's man. Comes back to Hansen. Yannick loves to hit that inside bank. Tried to come down the middle here. Blocked by Yor. Back to Hansen, who sends it up the table towards the goal. Kept out and then swept away by Todd Lafredo. Lafredo, a man who was just so great to have on a team. So much wisdom and experience and knowledge of the game. And Tom Yor now with an opportunity to steal as he sets up the pull shot. Takes a lot of time and calls timeout. And Lafredo asking about perhaps some resets in there. The Americans with a chance to steal here in this opening game. After a tremendous performance in singles by Ruben Heinrich as he beat Yor to tie this match up at 4 games apiece, the Americans with an opportunity to steal. Yannick back there defending. Tom Yor. We'll have to reset. Comes back with a rolling pull shot, and this opening game goes to Tom Yor and Todd Lafredo, and we'll head across the arena to the tornado table after Yor kind of forced into doing something quick here with the clock running. Came back with a rolling pull shot. Back over to tornado we go. Huge game here for Krudvig and Hansen. They really have to have this one. The Americans have stolen. The Germans need to steal back. Second game underway. Yor's pass blocked back towards the goal. Lafredo in possession. Back on familiar territory, although Tom Yor, again, looking like a native on the other table, and another beautiful pass here by Lafredo to Yor. That's 3 times they've hooked up. Tom will once again set up the pull shot. Tried to stroke the long. Nice bit of defense there by Hansen, who brought that farm man over to make the block. Tom probably expecting him not to bring it this time, and he doesn't, and Yor able to stroke home the long pull shot. That was a veteran read by a very experienced player who knew that the young player Hansen would block the first time with the far man, but on the next possession would maybe fake it, but would not bring it over. Yor went with that quick long and was successful with it. And let's see what Krudvig has on the tornado table as he sets up his snake shot against Lafredo. And strokes it home near side. It's 1-1. Big shot there from Long. Krudvig and Hansen played Gummison and McMillan, the former world champions, in the opening round of this semifinal and lost both games in that one as well. So they're 0 for 3. Yor gets a great set and strokes it home. It's 2-1. Tom passed that and went directly into a set. The ball positioned beautifully, and you're able to execute it to give his team the lead. The Americans leading 5-4. And Krudvig again. And he has shot the ball extremely well against Lafredo. Well, will it be enough? Mark Balic talking to Yannick Hansen. You can see Balic, one of the great German players. I think we're discussing who should be up there, who should be back. Right now, you're scoring well on Hansen, but Krudvig also scoring very well against Lafredo. Tom Yor puts the ball into play. 2-2 here in game number 2. The Americans won the first game on the Leonhart table. Yannick Hansen. That pull shot knocked back towards the goal by Yor. 5-4 leading games for the Americans. 2-2 here in this doubles second game on Tornado. Next up, we will see Ryan Moore and Tracy McMillan for the Americans going up against Mark Balic and Christopher Marks. When you get the USA and Germany together, there are some big names involved. And Yor stroking home that pull shot as the American bench explodes. The Americans have done this a time or two before. We talked about the fact that they have won 4 World Cup titles. 4 of the 7 that have been held. That one blocked up into the air and off the table by Lafredo. You know, Todd's going to make the adjustments back there. I know that Long Krudvig is a huge fan of Frederic Collignon, as so many viewers are, of course. Which means I think that Long has probably watched a lot of Todd Lafredo. Of course, Todd, the goalie for Collignon for 15 years. 3-2 lead for the Americans. Lafredo down the middle towards the goal, picked up here by Yor on his 5, and Tom will look to advance it. Krudvig doing a good job defensively here. Yor over the high lane blocked by Long. But the stick lane is there for Yor. Tom Yor. Tried to stroke the long, but Hansen is there to block it and take it away. It remains 3-2 here in the second game. The Americans leading 5-4, so this is the 10th game overall of the match, of this semifinal in the World Cup. You're able to pick up the loose ball here. And it's match point for the Americans as they look to sweep here in this 5th round. Pressure on Long now as he has possession of the ball on his 5. And it's Hansen. What looked so good for the Germans just a few minutes ago after the big win by Ruben Heinrich is not looking so great now. We would head to the next round with Ryan Moore and Tracy McMillan battling Mark Balic and Christopher Marks, with the Americans needing only one of the 2 games to win the semifinal round and advance to the finals. In other words, they would only have to win on their home table, even if they don't win on Leonhart. And, of course, Ryan Moore, great on every table. But even if they only win on the Tornado table in the next round, they would move on. Lafredo will call timeout. Tom Yor, Todd Lafredo, a goal away from really putting America in control in this match. Referee says, let's play. Long Krudvig will put the ball into play. Long tried to brush it along the outside wall, blocked by Yor. Long likes to get that ball moving slowly. Yor there again defensively. Long back along the wall. Yor makes the block. But this time Long able to go back along that far wall, and he'll set it up looking to cut the American lead to 1. Long Krudvig will call timeout. Long has shot the ball very well throughout the match on both tables, just has not had a lot of possessions. Tom Yor has won the battle of possessions so far, and Yor also shooting it well, which is why the Americans are just a goal away from taking a 6-4 lead. Ball put back into play by Long Krudvig, who tried to stroke it to that far side, blocked up into the air and off the table by Lafredo. Todd will put it back into play. And don't be surprised if Todd Lafredo scores this ball. He is known for hitting closeout shots from goal. That one towards the goal, up into the air and off the table. You can see Todd is being aggressive, trying to close it out. Hansen will put the ball back into play. Still 4-2 in favor of the Americans. Yannick. Shooting a pull shot this time. That one down the middle and back into the goal. So Tom Yor and Todd Lafredo defeat Long Krudvig and Yannick Hansen 5-2 in the second game. And the Americans are now up 6-4 as Tom Yor has that one knocked right back into the goal. That is Mark Balic in the forward position on the right. Christopher Marks at goal. And on the left, one of the great players in the world, one of the great players in the history of the sport, that's Ryan Moore, the American in the forward position, and Tracy McMillan, another member of the American Hall of Fame, in the goalie position. Moore and McMillan, Balic and Marks starting off on the tornado table. So talk about putting pressure on the Germans. They must win this game on the American home table in order to keep their hopes alive. The Americans win this game, they move to the final once again. There have been 7 World Cups. This is number 8. 8 World Cups. The Americans are looking to advance to their 6th final. Nice takeaway here by Marks. Christopher Marks has competed in the U.S. in the past and has had some success on the American tour, and certainly a man very accustomed to playing on the tornado table. In fact, 2 years ago, or was it 3, when the Americans and the Germans faced off in the semifinal round. In fact, that might have been a quarterfinal. When they faced each other, Christopher Marks pulled off one of the biggest wins in the history of the World Cup when he defeated Ryan Moore in a riveting singles match. And Marks was sensational. And that led Germany to that win. It eliminated the Americans. Germany reached the finals for losing to Belgium. That was 2012. Ryan Moore, again, looking to strike first. Ryan, of course, with the deadly snake shot as he sets it up. Waits and strokes it home. Always so patient offensively when shooting that snake shot. And when Ryan Moore does take his time, it is, I think, in my opinion, one of the 2 or 3 greatest shots in the history of the sport. Ryan Moore's snake shot, when he takes his time, is absolutely superb. This man also with the pin shot, very, very good, although the tornado not his best table, but still a good pin shot is a good pin shot, and Balic now has tied it up at 1. Again, the Germans must win this game. It's as simple as that. (1-1). Ryan Moore looking to advance it. Can't connect. It comes back to Marks. Christopher Marks. Picked up here by Tracy McMillan. Of course, McMillan, whose regular partner Dave Gummison, he and Dave won the opening round of this match, and he and Dave also own a multi-table world championship back in 2010. They won the world title in Nantes, France. Of course, 2 other times they've won the Tornado World Championship. McMillan generally recognized as one of the great goalies in the history of table soccer, both internationally and, of course, in America as well. And Ryan Moore able to find that near corner. It's 2-1. Ryan Moore, a former Tornado World Champion, multi-world champion. In fact, the current Tornado World Champion on both doubles and singles. He won a previous year in singles, and also a former Roberto Sport World Champion. He won doubles and singles and mixed doubles as well back in 2012 in Poland on the Roberto Sport table. Trying to pass along the wall was Moore, picked up by Tracy. And McMillan plants it firmly in the back of the goal, something we've seen him do in big situations for more than a decade and a half now, and he's given his team a 3-1 lead, which makes this possession by Mark Balic extremely important. Balic walking it. And finds that angling effort up the middle. It's 3-2. And moving to forward now is Marks. Back to goal is Balic. For defensive purposes, Mark is a very good defensive player. It'll be interesting to see if Marks does pass and shoot if he gets a possession. Chris also a very good forward. Ryan sticking this one through the lane. Will shoot against Mark Balic, looking to move within 1 of the World Cup final. Ryan Moore. Tried to take it out to the far side, and Balic with the takeaway. Mark will also shoot the pin shot back here, which can be dangerous on a tornado table. It is not normally a great option, but it is here as Balic able to fire it into the goal. You do not see that very often on a tornado table. Not an easy thing to do. Balic made it look easy, and he has now tied it up at 3. A huge shot by Balic, and what a great switch so far for the Germans. But Ryan Moore can give his team the lead once again. Again, when Ryan takes 6, 7, 8 seconds, works it, fakes it, his shooting percentage is huge. But this time, Balic is there. Mark, what an impact he has had since moving back into that goalie position. That one angled towards the goal, picked up here by McMillan. Tracy has scored once in this opening game. Ryan picks up the rebound with his 5 quickly, advancing it through that high lane into a tic-tac. Now will shoot his pull shot against Balic. Ryan tried to come down the middle. Balic again is there defensively. Boy, Mark has been sensational since moving back there. Balic shot attempt. Blocked by Moore. Mark again. That one dangerously blocked back towards the goal. Balic sticking with the front pin. And stroking it into the goal. I have to say, I think that is the first time I have ever seen 2 front pin shots scored from goal on a tornado table in the same game. That is a first, I think, for me. Great playing by Mark Balic. And Brian Moore will call time out. Ryan Moore will put the ball back into play. He and Tracy McMillan trailing 4-3. But Ryan can tie it. Boy, Mark Balic has played himself quite a game. Moore for the lead. Strokes it back down the middle. That's actually to tie it at 4. Balic has scored a couple from forward and a couple from goal. Has defended Ryan Moore well while he was back there. And Mark now will move back into the forward position. Balic. Try to pass it down along the wall. Another one. Both of them blocked by Moore. Moore not giving him the wall, daring him to go up. Telling Mark if he can go up through that lane, it's yours. But he's not going to give him the easier option, the wall. And McMillan able to pick up the rebound here. Pass attempt by Tracy goes just wide. Still 4-4 here in this first game, a game the Germans must have. Marks will shoot the pin shot. McMillan will rebound. Tracy fires that one on goal, and Moore able to pick it up, and he'll set it up, shooting for the lead. Back to the Snake, shooting against Marks. Ryan. Jokes it home near side. It is overall match point for the Americans. They need just one more. Boy, Ryan Moore took his time beautifully. And to Chris Marks' credit, he was on that near corner. Ryan just got it that much farther around when as long as you possibly can go. Hit it off the corner and had it go in. Christopher Marks. The Germans have to have this ball. But Ryan Moore can close it right here. As Ryan once again sets up the snake shot. Moore walked it and then tried to come back down the middle. Great block there by Marks. Chris working hard defensively. Ryan near side and Marks there again. Great hustling defense by Christopher Marks. And Marks will call timeout. You saw Chris look up at the scoreboard to see if he had any timeouts remaining. Watch Christopher Marks here as he's hustling defensively. Hustling. Ryan gets another possession. Marks still digging and did block it and take it away. And you're going to bring Balic back to goal. Moving to forward, Marks. Balic in an offensive situation moves back to the goalie position. He has scored twice in this game. Balic fired that one up the table, and the rebound is picked up by Marks. If Chris is going to shoot it, sure looks like it. And Marks fires it home near side. So all that hard work defensively for Christopher Marks pays off as he moves to the forward position and drills it to that near corner to tie it up at 5. Remember, it is win by 2 with a ceiling of 8. We have seen some great performances from the Germans today. Ruben Heinrich in singles, Marks and Balic here in doubles. But will it be enough? Ryan Moore. Of course, Balic played great earlier on as well with Oka Harms, but Ryan Moore able to get this one through. It is overall match point once again for the Americans. They need just one more goal to advance to the World Cup final. Balic back to forward. Needless to say, the Germans must have this ball, and Balic can't hold on to it. Moore advancing it through the high lane, can win it right here for the Americans. Shooting against Christopher Marks. Moore sets up the snake shot. And strokes it home. The Americans, led by Ryan Moore and Tracy McMillan, have defeated the Germans 7-4 to advance to their 6th World Cup final in 8 years, thanks to efforts like this from Ryan Moore. The American team, Team USA, will face Luxembourg in the final of the World Cup.